Mr. Chair, after listening to the discussion, I thought Mr. Massey got closest to what probably should be the discussion about this bill. And, I spent years in the Army Reserves, 27 years. I've assembled and disassembled an M16 probably 100 times, mainly for the purposes of cleaning the weapon. I've also owned rifles, shotguns, revolvers, 9mm. I still do. The problem is the nomenclature and the way that this is described. It's very murky. And if that isn't fixed, I don't think this bill is worth the paper it's written on. Because what you're going to do is, once again, cause confusion. We've seen this before with the previous assault weapon ban because of the way it's named. And it's cosmetic differences is the best way to describe it. A pistol grip on an AR-15 and the stock of any .280 Winchester, the difference is really going to be related to the nuances of the way the gun is put together, the way it's assembled. So it's the first point I wanted to make. I thought that Mr. Massey was doing a good job of demonstrating that assault weapon is a term. Certainly weapons of war is used on a regular basis to generate a reaction, I believe. So that was the first point I wanted to make. I think that Mr. Massey's on the right track. The second thing is, there's been a lot of discussion on our side of the aisle as well as the other about personal protection. But the fact of the matter is, in my state, in the state of Wisconsin, and maybe you're not even aware of this, but there is a culture of hunting, sportsmen. And probably the best example is deer hunting. Over a 9-day gun hunt in the state of Wisconsin, which is a family tradition, generation after generation after generation come together for those 9 days. There's a deer camp that's set up somewhere, typically anywhere in Wisconsin. I have 80 acres. We have a deer stand right in the backyard. And we sit out there for 9 days. The thing you don't understand is there are 530,000 licenses sold for those 9 days. Do you hear that? 530,000 deer hunting licenses. And they all go out in the woods, and they're everywhere. And every one of these individuals either has a rifle or a 12 gauge. Okay? There's no mass hysteria during that period of time. But I think it's a gap. The people that aren't around guns, aren't familiar with guns, it's not part of their own personal culture, they don't understand it. They look at a gun sitting on the table and they think danger. There are many, many, many Americans that don't feel that way at all about a gun on the table. So you've got a bill that's been drafted that I think misses the mark on the description by far. And the second part is the people that aren't in this room are the people that are part of this culture. And it's not about personal protection. For the most part, they're sportsmen. They hunt pheasant, they hunt whitetails, they hunt ducks. And they are the ones who are saying, why are you going to infringe on my Second Amendment rights? I've done nothing wrong. I've done nothing wrong. I'm a responsible gun owner in America that uses it for a very specific purpose. And in Wisconsin, it's hunting. And yet you're going to take away my rights because of somebody that's absolutely psychotic and needed a mental evaluation that was never done prior to a mass shooting. There's got to be a better way of doing this. And I would hope that this committee would continue to explore what that is instead of just throwing out a piece of legislation and saying, this is going to fix this. Because you know what the problem is? You're fooling everybody, including the people in this room. This is not going to fix the problem. It was tried once before and it was unsuccessful, and if it's tried again today, it's going to have the same result. And I yield back.